After the first four issues that adapted the movie Trick or Treat, they launched another comic series called Trick or Treat Days of the Dead, where each of the four issues told a different story, somehow involving Sam and the whole trick or treat idea. So, let's talk about that first issue. The next comic book series to feature the Trick or Treat franchise was called Trick or Treat Days of the Dead, and it was published in 2015. The first issue of this series is called Seed, and it starts off with a grandpa who's talking to his granddaughter on his front porch as they both carve pumpkins. It turns out his granddaughter is disenfranchised with Halloween and doesn't want to dress up or go trick-or-treating this year, so he tells her a story. The first story begins in 1640 Ireland, where supposed witches are being accused and killed by the church and military when a soldier, Thomas, begins to question it all. One day, Thomas stops a woman from being waterboarded, telling the soldiers that he's to take over, and he frees her hands, and he listens as she explains to him why they are all wrong for doing what they're doing. He starts tending to her in between her tortures after she finds a buried seed and claims it holds magic inside of it. Over time, Thomas starts growing ill, however. One Halloween, Thomas is too sick to tend to her, and she is beaten for poisoning him. Once left alone, she goes to the reburied seed and uses the magic to make it grow a pumpkin with vines that pick her prison lock, freeing her. She goes to Thomas and breathes into his mouth, and vines sprout all over his body from inside of him. As this is happening, he sees visions of all of his military's evil deeds. Then he wakes up, healed by all of the vines. The other members of his military break in and pull her away, so she asks Thomas to care for the seed, but he says no. As she's about to be beheaded, Thomas frees the other witches to distract the executioner. Then he frees the woman who it turns out is named Bridget, and they both ride off on a horse. The soldiers chase them and quickly catch up, killing their horse. Thomas tells her to run, but she stays, and they're both burned. But first, she sees Sam and tells Thomas to have faith that it's just the beginning for them. And even though they die, a couple of kids find the remains and the broken pumpkin. They take the seeds to the new world, just like Bridget really wanted. Like for part 3.